What's going on, guys? We have another Monday meeting with your boy Covey. He's going to take it over today. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We got awesome art in here. B. Stewie, Dan, Bob, myself, Jimmy. We got Trevor, Tanish. Damn, it's going to be forever before I get that right. What up, Jimmy, Yosef, and I'm sure we got plenty more piling in. If you guys want to join this awesome Discord meeting so you can watch it live and ask all the questions that you feel that you need answered, just go into the description down below, hit that like and subscribe on this YouTube video, and join our Discord through that link tree. We'll see you guys very, very soon. And if you would be so kind, Covey, take it over, baby. Let's go.
All right. What's up, guys? So I'm gonna start off by saying I really freaking hate this market we're in, even though it just absolutely been taken off. And it's really nice to see, like, love to see it. I remember a week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, I'm a little skeptical, not taking a lot of trades, sitting on the sideline, but now it's just like full bull ahead, right? So as you can see here, this is the IWM. This is the area we wanted to see the money shift into, and we're getting that right now. A lot of money starting to flow into the IWM, and to be honest, I think we're still very early with the move in the IWM. Just with the mega cap starting to slow down, and we're seeing some money starting to shift into the IWM, and the market had a great day today. Did it touch all-time highs? It did touch all-time highs today. But yeah, we really want to be seeing this IWM ripping higher, because these are the stocks in the IWM or the Russell 2000. These are the stocks where you're going to make the most amount of money, especially being a trader with a smaller account and having those stocks move, the faster movers actually get some buying behind it. So yeah, that's just my thought on the IWM and the overall market, and it's really good to see. So it's risk on, baby. But I don't really have. I still haven't put on a trade since last Wednesday, or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't even know, but I haven't put on a trade for a while because I just haven't seen a lot of things set up. And I'm really kind of again start like feeling that FOMO, like I need to get into something, or I want to get into something, but there are names that are setting up that I really, really do like. So I'll just kind of run through my watch list, and then we can go from there. It's probably going to be a pretty short meeting tonight because what else do you talk about here? Market's ripping. To be honest, I should be in names, but it's just, like I said, nothing's matching my criteria, and it's about being super, super disciplined with your trading, right? So I'll just kind of run through my setup here. So we have MDIA. This is a very fast mover at 23%, 23 ADR, and it had this big run up here. Now MDIA, it's a media company, so it's not. I mean, and its IBD ranking isn't great, so it's not really in a hot sector. But it did have this move up on volume, and now it's starting to form its nice little trend here from all the way back here and starting to tighten up. But it is an e-liquid stock. So what I mean by that is that if you want to enter with a large amount of position or like a decent bit of capital in this, you could get a very shitty spread, or this stock can be manipulated quite a bit because there's such little amount of volume or shares being traded in it. So some big market maker could be buying all this stock up, like a group of people, and then as soon as people start to buy in here, they'll just dump their shares and this thing could like tank. So MDIA, it's definitely something to be very careful of, just because of the liquid in the stock. And is there any questions with like liquid and e-liquid? Anything with that, or you kind of get the basis of it?
Are you gonna I'm sorry. Are you going to try and go over like what makes it liquid and illiquid, like how we figured out the dollar volume? Because I thought when we were figuring this out that it was liquid enough for us to trade, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
that's like $8,000 worth of dollar volume that we could take this, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
So it's liquid
there,
enough, right? And we don't have anybody with
it's
$1 million in here trading, I don't think,
yeah,
right now.
yeah, 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 exactly. If you have like 500K plus in your trading account, I would not recommend playing this game at all.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there is a way you could calculate this if you're liquid enough, and it's pretty simple. So you take now this is getting very technical, so you don't really need to worry about this until you have a larger account.
I think we could skip that. I was just curious if you were
Oh,
saying
okay.
it's liquid enough for everybody in this room to trade, right?
Yeah,
So we're going to
yeah.
keep this on our
If you
watch
have,
list or not?
if, yeah, I would keep this on your watch list. If you
Okay.
have an account over
Thank you.
like 100K to 500K, I would not probably have this anywhere on your watch list. But for us smaller trader accounts, I would definitely watch this because it moves fast, and yeah, you can make a pretty nice gain out of this. It's setting up nicely. Now it did break its 10-day, which I really don't like to see. But if it could hold this and maybe give us one more inside day here, then it would be really nice to see. But I just love the trend that's being formed in these higher lows off this 21 day. Now, if it comes down and finds support on this 21 day, which it has in the past, here, and here, I would definitely love to see that. So yeah, this is MDIA. Get that on your watch list. So the next thing, this should actually be at the top, is RGS. So when you're looking for a 5-star setup, this is it right here. Screenshot this. Just pretty much memorize this in your brain because it doesn't get much better than this. Like if this thing takes off tomorrow and it clears this high a day and breaks out on volume, everyone in this Discord should be in this day. Now, I'm not pressuring you to do it, obviously, but when it comes to the just me and Dave's process, this checks every single box.
Just
You
real
have
quick,
you have
these aren't buy or sell
yeah.
recommendations in any way, guys. These are
Yes,
our
these are
thoughts. These are not yours
exactly.
in any way, shape, or form. We're just creating a
Don't
watch
sue me.
list. It's called a watch list, not a trade list for a reason. But Covey, if you will do me a huge favor and go over why this hits every single box, because Covey and I were talking for over an hour on our rules, rewriting the rules, really diving down deep into this to make sure when we display this and regurgitate this information, it's clear and cut. So Covey, if you could just tell me exactly why this hits every box, please.
Okay. So the first thing we'll go over is, well, we're just gonna go from the stage one. So we'll do your general market rules. So first thing we want to see is the market in that stage 2 uptrend, or is the market ripping? And how you determine that is usually if the market is above the 10-day moving average. That's just kind of the be all end all, and look at that, nicely above the 10-day moving average, and even the IWM just way above the 10 moving average, which is really nice to see for the overall market. That's the first thing we look at. The next thing, that's for general market rules, just simple, straight, easy. Now we go to the setup. So setup, you have some sort of So for this, you have some sort of big move up to the north side. So it's something you're like, this stock not doing good, nothing really happening, and then boom, you had an event or a news event happen, and something happened to cause a lot of institutions to come in and buy up the stock. Now, this thing, I'm going to go a little bit more into technical detail, but this thing has a float of 2 million. So what that means is only 2 million shares are traded around in this stock. So when 44 million shares are traded in the same day on this big move, that means this day 20 shares exchanged hands 22 different times, if you get what I'm saying. So what that says is that pretty much says, okay, all of this back here doesn't really mean anything because shares exchanged hands so many times that there's probably very little overhead supply and everything already got bought back up here, which is really nice to see. There's a very low share float and everything got bought right in this area, and most of the people are in profit. So that's just a little technical side piece that I wanted to bring up. The next thing is we have this move up. The next thing that we want to see is it forming higher lows? Sorry, let me rephrase that. Does it have an orderly pullback? So what I mean by an orderly pullback is, does it retain most of its gains? So it doesn't come up and then sell right back off. So a good example of this would be what would be a good example? So let's look at CKOS. So this would be something that I wouldn't consider an orderly pullback, because you have a huge move up and then it just sells right back off around 50%, where RGS, you have a big move up and then it only sells off around 25% and it stays within holding those gains, right? But yeah, you have that orderly pullback, and then what else you want to see during that pullback is it's starting to form these higher lows, as you can see from this red line. So you have one low here, and you have two lows here during this consolidation, and then you can see it just starts getting tighter, tighter, and tighter, and then it starts surfing this 10-day moving average. Let me just move that. So it surfs this 10-day moving averages and gets tight on this 10-day moving average. Now, the other thing you're going to want to watch for is this area of resistance, so this trend line. Now, the trend, figuring out how to draw a trend line, that's all going to come with experience and just training your eye to find these certain sorry, I'm getting distracted by who's joining and who's not. But that's all gonna come with training your eye and figuring out, okay, there's some sort of, it's forming these highs here, and then it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's all just going to come with training your eye. But that is one of the key rules you need to find in place. It just shows you that the stock is tightening up and contracting. The next thing is that you need is tighter the better. So you're gonna hear this a lot, and anyone who's been here for like a decent amount of time is, we praise like tightness. It's it shows that, and it comes down to supply and demand. I've said this before. It's just supply and demand. You're getting all the supply sucked out of the market. So all you need is a little bit of demand to push the stock higher and through this breakout area. So yeah, it's just supply and demand, and we want to see it get very tight because that's showing it's contracting, and it takes that little bit of volume to push it, and then people start piling on, and you get massive moves by like this. You get stupid massive moves like this. Like if you look at NNE and then you look at RGS, they're very, very similar things. It's rinse and repeat when it comes to trading. Now, the next thing we want to see is the volume dry up. Now, it's tough to see because you have this big volume blurb here, but I'll try to do my best. So you see, let's see if I can.
You can just go on the 5-minute to eliminate it if you'd like.
Actually, yeah, we'll probably do the hourly.
There you go.
That'll be better.
That's looking beautiful.
So you see how it has this huge amount of volume, and then it just starts tightening, and then you have like almost no volume right before this thing starts to break out. That's exactly what you want to see when you see volume dry up. Now, when it comes to volume dry up, you want to see a minimum of 3 days with super, super low volume. And you can see that here with RGST. You have very little volume coming into these 2 days compared to the previous days. That's exactly what you want to see. You have that with NNE too. You have look at this volume that didn't come in, like no volume at all coming in, and then that little bit of volume push, boom, takes that thing farther. You have RABN, same thing. You have very little volume. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, very little volume, like almost no volume traded these 3 days, and then boom, a little bit of volume goes for a nice little run.
And guys, we are going to be creating a playbook for these specific reasons.
Yeah.
We also have been working on, and I got to give all the credit to Covey. He typed all this out. And if you open up this water cooler chat, I wrote down all the rules for you here so you could have them right now. So that way you can study these while we're away. But we are going to be going over these over and over and over again. I hope it gets boring and you guys get sick of hearing it, because that means you're going to know what we're going to say next. It's very important. So just keep that in mind, guys. We're going to have a playbook coming out for you within the next couple of months, and it's all going to be accessed for you guys, and it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, Kobe.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dave. That so pretty much I want to get together a playbook for you guys and just build out screenshots so you can go through them, and then you could be like, okay, this is what a 5-star, and it's only going to be really 5-star setups of trades either we took or we missed, because you won't catch them all. But when you start narrowing down your process, you will come across, most of the time you're going to come across setups that you probably won't miss because they're just so picture perfect. So yeah, RGS. Is there anything else rule wise that well, the one thing I do want to bring up is it's not really a rule, but it's a nice to have. So with something like this, there's something's got to drive this thing like 300% up, or to come in and buy all these shares up. So with RGS, it was something about they had a new financing plan to grow, or they had some sort of loan. It was like a loan that they took out, and pretty much it was going to help them for the next couple of years to grow their business and do some really cool stuff. So this thing does have a catalyst behind it, and that's what we really like to see. Something like, I'm just going to keep going back to these examples because they're very, very picture perfect. But NNE, this one had its news catalyst was right here when Biden banned all nuclear reactors coming in from China, or something to do with limited supply on nuclear reactors. So it made this thing come up, and it consolidated, and then just took off again. And then RABN, same sort of thing. They were expanding their market to China, which when you expand a market to a major country like China with a ton of population, especially when you're in like the consumer services and your coffee company, it's gonna draw a lot of eyes because that's a lot of business. And then big news catalyst, got tight, and then ripped higher. So it's not a rule, because for example, you don't need a catalyst to make it go higher. For something like SHIP, there was no catalyst on this one. It was just a strong stock and a strong sector, and it just ripped higher on a good technical break. But it's still I find with these like story stocks, that's what I like to call them. They definitely have way bigger moves and to the upside, because there's something behind them that are driving this thing higher. And especially when you have a big move like that, there's something that is driving them higher. So investors want to jump on board, and then you kind of get this FOMO effect, and people just want to keep buying this thing up. So that is kind of my little spiel on RGS and kind of why it is so picture perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing could like break out of this area. I could take it, and then it fails, and that happens, right? But it's just the setup of this looks so pretty that it'd really suck to see. But anyways,
I would like to comment on that though too. So we go over all of this, guys, and we find these very specific trades because of the expansion and then the contraction, because we're utilizing this tightness for proper risk reward on the expansion again. So that
Yeah.
way, when we get that tightness and we risk either the low of the day or the low of the previous day, it becomes a very, very tight stop loss. So that way, we're not using the low of the expansion, we're using the low of the contraction. And that's giving us a higher probability of risk to reward. So rather than taking a 1-to-1 risk reward, we're taking a 1-to-10 risk reward. The tighter, the better. So when Covey says this thing might go out and we might buy in and then it fails, well, at least we know that we're wrong now, today, rather than utilizing our capital for weeks and weeks at a time just to stop us out at 1R when it really didn't do nothing. So this is why we wait. This is why we sit on our hands. This is why we wait for amazing setups just like this. An awesome explanation, Covey. I just wanted to go over the whole reason why we're doing this, guys, is to get the absolute best risk reward. And some people might say, oh, well, I'll just buy and hold. Well, you're a different kind of investor. If you want to make millions in the market, you are very worried about getting the absolute best price that you can. We are traders, and that's what we do. So thank you for that great explanation, Covey. I really, really like RGS, and I definitely got my alert set.
Yeah. No, it's out of everything I've seen, it's definitely the one I want to be a part of. And and it's a 17% mover, so this thing wants to go, it will really go and hopefully have a nice breakout. I have a feeling if it doesn't break out tomorrow, we could see it fail and head to the downside, but you never know, right? You never know. Maybe it'll give us one more tight day, and then we'll be like, holy, this thing's getting really, really tight.
Dude, if we get one more tight day, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'll get goosebumps, boy.
Yeah, so sorry. I was like, why you say it like that? Boy. Okay. Anyways, I'd get goosebumps too. Like, this is it's very nice to see. MDIA, already went over that. I do have RYDE. So this was going back to Trevor's kind of IPO trading IPOs and stuff like that. Now, it is an IPO, as you guys can see. It IPO'd in March, and now it just traded sideways, and then it had this move up, and then I did have it marked out here for an entry. When it got tight here, you can see kind of similar trend breakout, move up tight, but it didn't really move up a crazy amount to be like, okay, give me conviction that this thing's gonna head higher, but it did. But now I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, you had this huge sell-off, and then it came back up, and now it's getting tight again here. The only thing I don't like is it looks very ugly because you have this big breakdown, and then it's slow grind up, and now it's starting to kind of form a little short base here. It's definitely no RGS or like a 5-star setup, but I am watching it to see how it does tomorrow. It does have the volume dry up when it was in this base. It has gone tight. It has been riding, found support on these moving averages. So it is checking off a lot of boxes. It just looks a little sloppy, and that's all. So this would be something for RGS. I would probably take like 1% of my account risk on. For something like RYDE, I'd maybe only go 0.5% of my account, just based on the setup. And you'll find with time is as you get more comfortable with trading, you're gonna see these 5-star setups and be like, okay, I'm taking 1% because it's so picture perfect. But with something like RYDE and it breaks out tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's not as perfect. I'm gonna take 0.5%, and that's something you can do and try to figure out when you're trying to master your trading process, and that just comes with your person.
I would just say, just because we just recently went over our rules, you and I, Covey, I would want to interject and say, like, there is no real run up on this stock. I like the structure where it's at because it's looking like a high tight flag, but there's no run up on volume, so it would negate some of our rules there. So we really need to be aware of that as well, that there's no real volume backing up the push higher.
Yeah.
So the pullback on the consolidation, there's just not too much of a trade there. So I'm not going to have this on my list for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely missed that. Yeah, there's absolutely zero volume backing, which when you see that, it most likely that a lot of institutions aren't really backing this stock. And once you get up to something like this area resistance, this $9 area, or even up to 10, there's going to be a brick wall you're going to run into. But yeah, I'm just watching it for now, so we'll take a look. Yeah, and then NNE, we're going back to this one. I mean, this is just a fan favorite in this Discord, and it's and this is kind of like me and Dave went over this. This is why you don't take any premature breakouts, because if we ignore these 2 days right here, let's see if I can do this for you guys. So if we ignore those 2 days right there, this looks really good, right? Like really, really nice, really tight. And then you're like, oh, this thing's breaking out here and I'm gonna get in it. But even though there's no volume at all or anything coming in, but I'm still gonna get it because it looks so good and it's probably gonna go tomorrow. And then you hit the next day, boom. Right in the morning, you're down 10% of your account already, and it's gapped through your stock.
Bro, I had no
So this is
idea
why
you could do that on TradingView.
Oh, really?
That is so cool, dude. Oh, holy cow.
The replay mode, yeah,
That is
it's
so
pretty
cool.
nice. So yeah, I thought I'd whip
I'm
that
sorry.
out.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's
It's
all
so
good.
cool.
I needed a good moment to use it, and this
Guys,
was it.
I'm driving and I didn't understand what you were making a fuss about being able to do in TradingView. Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, so on trading is cool little feature where you have this called it's called a replay mode. So you could choose where you want to look at the stock. So let's say you want to examine like back here on this breakout day. So you click that and you're like, okay, just doing a little study session, and then you're like, okay, stock's moving like this, and then boom, yeah, that breakout, and then you can keep going, and then you can actually also play it on a certain speed. So play how the stock's doing, and then yeah, so it plays out, and then you're done, right? So it's pretty cool, and then you can also play around with buy and sell how many shares you want to play down here. It just helps you guys. Now I don't use it, but it's just another tool to have where you could go back to the stock if you want to like play it how you should have, or looking back testing some things out, right? So
I gotta throw my plug in there, guys. If you guys don't have or aren't not, if you're not using the TradingView, check out the link in the description down below. Look at my link tree. The TradingView link is in there. Use that to get $15 off if you decide to go to the Essential Plan. If you don't want to use the Essential Plan, it's absolutely free, guys. But use that link. We get a little kickback if you guys end up buying the Essential Plan, and we greatly appreciate it, of course. So, Covey, go ahead. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Beauty. Yeah, TradingView, like I'm gonna be completely honest, super awesome software, super easy to use for anyone beginning. And yeah, we got a video to help you set up your charts just like this. So it's really awesome to see. But yeah, you can mess around with this. Like I said, you could paper trade on here, pretend like you bought it down here, and then hold it till the top and see how profitable you are. But anyways, that's just a cool little feature. But we'll go into the premature breakout. So yeah, if you bought here thinking it would have gone, then this thing would have gapped down and you would have been out 10% of your account, gapped through your stop. So you wouldn't have got stopped out here. You would have got stopped down all the way down here and probably lost a decent bit of your amount of money. So you really got to be careful with playing premature breakouts. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I determine if it's a premature breakout or not? You will know. You will know when you see that volume coming in, and that's why me and Dave praise volume on the 5 minutes so much, because on this day, I was pretty sure I was watching it when it broke above that trend line. Let's see if I can find it. What day was that? Thursday the 11th. Thursday the 11th, right here. So it'd be right here. No. Thursday the 11th. Right here. So right here, there wasn't really a whole bunch of volume, and it was kind of slamming into this $28 area. Yes, you could have traded this on the 5 minute and been like, okay, it was break, but it never broke this trend line, or it never broke this it never broke this trend line, and it's just getting that feel for that stock, because it's buying a premature breakout. It's going to be tough to determine where you want, where and how you're going to buy it. If you get what I'm saying. Now, I didn't really explain that too well, but it's all going to come down to experience and stuff like that, and being very careful, especially when the stock is trading in this area, and that it's gonna have a false breakout. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys, that NNE did have a false breakout, and now we could see it's starting to tighten up here again, and hopefully we can see one more day. It might give us a day, it might not, but I'm watching it right now. And then we have INSG. Dave, I know you traded ISG, and I'm wondering if you're still in this one.
Yeah, I am still in it. I'm honestly not too proud of when I took it, because where I took it, I'm happy with, but when I took it, I didn't take it on. If you look at the 5 minute, there was a big run up on volume, but I didn't take it till 1183, and I took it right after the biggest volume blurb on the 5 minute. So I mean, I'm happy with the trade, but I still feel like I could have got a better price, because I basically got it at the high of the day, and it was the high of, or within pennies of the high of the day, holding at 1182. But I did wait for the volume. I believe it was still within the average daily range, 657. Yeah. So yeah, it was still within the average daily range by half. But I kind of felt a little yucky about the trade. But yes, I am in it. I am holding it. And I will continue to hold until it breaks and closes below the 10-day moving average now.
Yeah. It had a good soak off the 10-day today, which is really nice to see. But now I'm just kind of waiting. You got in here, Thursday. I'm just waiting for it to see if it can tighten up again. And
I really like your trend that you wrote there. Yeah, that's seeing the bigger picture there. Really, I like that.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. You had this move up, guys, and then it's just starting to get tight. Now it's a waiting game. So we'll see what happens here. It needs probably a couple more days, but definitely be watching that one. HIMX, this is another one. You have this big move up. Well, you have move up again. Now it's starting to get tight and riding these higher lows on this 10-day. And now I want to see it get really tight. You have this first day of volume drop. If we could see 2 more days with volume drop, that's going to be really, really nice to see. And I would that would be considered also a 5-star setup if we get those 2 days of dried up volume. So and it being super tight. Now we have FTEL. Dave brought this up yesterday. FTEL, big run up here. Now, I had this marked out as a trend break here, which you could have definitely played as a trend break. Now, the only thing was you didn't have volume on this break, which would have been tough to take. But you do have it riding this 21-day, and then it's forming, and it got super, super tight on very little volume, and then broke out.
I think we called that out in the Discord when it broke. Yeah. But because there was no volume, I could even go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I called that out and I said, but there's no volume. It's unfortunate because it was clean. It looked good.
Yeah. No, yeah, it looked really, really good. And now it's forming another trend breakout here. So you have 3 areas of resistance right here, and it's forming higher lows, finding support on this 10-day moving average. And we'll see if it can tighten up here. I'm actually going to set my alert at right here, because if it clears this high a day, I'll probably take a position in this, because and if it clears this high a day on volume, I'll I'll definitely take a position. And you can see here just the volume is drying up during this consolidation here. Now I would like to see it get tight, but it's already pretty tight relative to its ADR. So yeah, like 5% from its breakout area. That's really, really tight for a 14 ADR stock. So now I'm gonna go over kind of my non-focused watches that need a little bit more time, but we have Fly E. So Fly E, I'm struggling. My issue is I'm really getting attached to this stock. The big reason is because it has really, really good sales, and it's in the automobile, like electric car space. They develop electric cars and stuff like that. Well, not cars, like motorbikes, mopeds, scooters, e-bikes, all of that. And it has a very, very similar setup to like your NNE. It has IPO'd, sold off, that came back up here on volume, and then started to form a nice consolidation here. Now it did break out here, but it never got tight here, so I didn't take it, and it sucked right back into its range, which I like to see. So now if I could see it get tight here, and break out again, then it's definitely going to look really nice. But this needs like 3 days at least. And this is going back to Trevor's question about IPOs before the meeting. Yes, this is what we're looking for when trading an IPO, a more technical pattern. We're not buying it right at the IPO. We're buying it when it's showing us an actual feasible base and consolidation that we can trade, right? So Fly E, I'm struggling with letting this one go, but we're seeing hopefully it could set up and I could make a trade on it.
Just back to the original point, I forget which stock it was, but the run up doesn't have really the volume. It looks like we have some run up on the 24th with the volume, and then it pulls back, and then it dies off. But then we get more volume, and then the pullback is on more volume too. It's just not that clean. But I see why you don't have it on your main watch. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I just I like the structure, but I don't like the volume in it.
Yeah, totally. But it's hard to tell because you have very little data to work off of too. If this is above average volume, but these two bars look very, very nice, and then this bar, like you have some liquidation here, and then it just starts going, and then these days are not nice. These days are not nice at all. It stays within its range, except for this day. But now, if we see it start to tighten up, that would be really nice. Even if we played it to like something like this, a more flat base. But I just want to see it tighten up and hopefully get a trade out of it. ASNS. I was just watching this. This is already gone, and if you traded this, it would have been a tough trade because it just looks. You can tell this it's just a sloppy chart. It doesn't. There's nothing really. It just looks like a pump and dump. You have pump,
if you traded
dump,
this, you were
pump,
playing
dump,
pre-market.
Dump.
You were either playing pre-market or aftermarket, and you were gambling. And I know firsthand because I did, and I got out of it. And I'm proud to bring it to the attention. I talked to Covey about this. This was my first and only mess up that I have had for a very, very long time, where I negated from my proper setups and rules. So no, I agree with you, Covey. There was no way you were getting into this trade. There was no way. Not recently, anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna remove that from my watch list because, I was just watching it, seeing if it would work, but yeah. So then we have up. So up's looking really nice here. So you have a big blip of volume, move up, and now it's starting to tighten up. Here's your first higher low. Now we want to see form another higher low and get tight on this, find some support on this 10-day. And this needs a little bit more time though. So we'll wait and see how this one works. But very, very nice looking move up here, and then hopefully we can see it tighten up with this volume that came in. QS, I was watching QS just just because I think Dave was in this one. Are you still in it, Dave?
Yeah, I played it as an EP.
Yeah, EP. Okay. And yeah, I was just watching this one because this one's already gone. But yeah, there will be an EP video coming out soon. I'm just editing it up, so you will be able to understand more about EPs and how we play them. Poet. I know some people took Poet today. I did not take Poet today. I'll tell you the reason why I didn't take Poet today. Now, this run up here is really, really nice to see out of this base. And it came back, formed a nice little pullback here. Now, the reason I didn't take Poet was because I found it to be a little, from where I wanted to buy it, from now, I found it to be definitely a little extended from the 10-day moving average. And it never came down and actually started surfing this 10-day moving average. And on top of that, it was a very short consolidation. I usually like to see bases around 2 weeks plus when it's consolidating. But that's just one of my preferences is to see a base 2 weeks out. And for anybody in it, sorry for it pulling back today, but for me, I really like to see it wick out here and then pull back. And hopefully now we can start building something that will make it really tight and hopefully touch this moving average and hold this trend line here and get tight. So Poet, definitely on my watch, but I think it needs at least a week or something like that to get tight. Now, I could be completely wrong and all this could just rip tomorrow, but yeah. And then we have this isn't a great name, SLNH. It's just watching this trend break here, but you see here it's forming these same kind of lows. It's not really higher lows, but it is holding this 21-day moving average, which is really nice to see. But I would like to see like it forming a higher low, something like this, and getting tight on that. But SLH, watch it, see what happens. But yeah, it's kind of my watch list, guys. Kind of the main takeaway from this is, I guess, start developing your rules. Dave posted in the chat. If you don't have rules already, I highly recommend you start working on them. The ones we give you in the chat is very, very basic, and you can build off that. But I highly recommend you keep it somewhat simple so you understand it and know exactly what you look for. So don't use words like what's a word you shouldn't use, like sorry, I'm losing it. But what I'm trying to say is be very straight to the point. Don't be wishy-washy with your rules. It's got to be very, very rigid and very straight to the point, because then you lose some discipline with that, right? So
Yeah.
Be straight to the point with your rules, and don't have any words where it's like, fuck, I can't even think of any words, but whatever. Yeah, but that kind of wraps it up. And is there any questions or any stocks?
I just want you to look at one stock for me. It's your absolute favorite stock. I think you need a couple more days before it grinds higher. But if you'll take a look at GRND, Grinder, I know you got a couple accounts there.
Why do you say is my favorite?
I know you need a couple more days before you start grinding higher. Yeah, you are, dude.
No, I'm not.
You're taking it.
No, so Grinder, it's looking, like you said, it just needs a couple more days. Like big run up on volume, like pumped out of this base, average. And now it's forming a base on top of a base. And if it gets tight on this 10-day, hell yeah, I'll trade this.
Getting yucky in here.
That's why people are leaving.
Everybody's gone. They're like, F this.
Can we please revisit INSG?
INSG, yes, we can.
Okay, so I took at 11:43. I think that was Friday, right?
11:43. There's like July the 11th.
Hold on.
All right.
It'll tell me. Yeah, July 11th. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a Thursday. Yeah, right here.
Okay. So then I sold my first half at 12.32. Says
Wait,
on
where did you get in? Sorry,
I
11:43.
got in at 11.43.
Okay, beauty.
Yep, sold my first half at 12.32 on the 12th.
12:32. Yeah.
But then I
Yeah.
got stopped out today, which is what's troubling to me. So I moved my stop loss to initially to break even, which would have
Yeah.
been 11.43. But it said, oh, I know what happened. Okay, so I know what happened. Okay, so I set
Yeah.
my
So
stop
you.
loss at 11.43, so I got stopped out today.
Yeah. So you played
Yeah.
this. You played this for our rules. You played this perfectly. You bought in. Well, first the selling rules. This. I would consider this a little bit of a shorter base. But it did ride the 10-day. It never really got tight though. But you did have that volume drop, and then you had that breakout on volume. So it was a nice, like, I'd consider this like a nice cheat. And then, yeah, set your stop at low a day, and you sold at 2R, which is perfect. And then usually I like to move my stop to break even as soon as it gets up to 2R, because you don't want the stock to come back down. If it came back down, most likely it would go and stop you out. But yeah.
So here's what's troubling now. Here's what's troubling to me. This is the first time it ever has happened. Now, my brokerage gives me a warning about this when I set my stop loss. I actually got stopped out at 11.35, even though my stop loss was 11.43, because there has to be 100 shares available at that moment for the brokerage to sell, I guess.
That sounds like your broker issue, because it should get you out right at the price, especially with the stock.
I've never had this before.
Because there's enough liquid. If you're taking 100 shares, there's enough liquid to get you out at 11.43 in a stock like this. Yeah, that sounds like an issue with your broker, because there is, unless it gapped down somehow on the 5-minute when you got stopped out, which it doesn't look like there was a gap down at all. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna have to talk to your broker about that one, or at least figure out what's going on, because you should have got out right at 11.43, not 11. Unless the spreads was really crappy. Like I don't know. So there's multiple factors, but getting down from your stop loss being from 11.43 to getting the price for 11.35 that's a big difference.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's like 1% difference, 0.75% difference, which is ridiculous. So I don't know.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, if there's no more questions, Dave, wrap her up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to our Discord meeting with the one, the only Covey. That's my sound for an air horn. Listen, guys, no, but seriously, there was 15 or 16 in here tonight and still in here. I just want to say thank you, Awesome Art, B. Stewie, Dan, Bob, Dad, the greatest moderator alive, Predator, while he is driving, Hola Diva, Sister Travels, Jimmy, Jolene, Leslie, Nalani, Trevor, Tanch, I think I said it right this time, and the one, the only, Yosef. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys have any questions, of course, don't be shy. Put them in the general chat. We always get to everybody's, and if we don't get to it right away, we will get to it eventually. So thank you guys so much for being here. We don't have anything on the schedule for tomorrow except for a meeting, just like we're having here tomorrow. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome night.
A deeper dive with you tomorrow.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for
And Dave,
All right, David.
Dave, we'll work on that pronunciation.
Did I not say it right? Tanch?
Ain't.
Tanch, damn it.
Thanks.
I'll get it right eventually. Peace,
All
guys.
right.